By what percentage do you think organic sales increase from year to year in the United States? 20%. By what percentage do other foods increase? 2%. This has been going on for 10 years. This will continue to go on. And there is room for optimism because things are changing. We just happen to be at the very front of that process, so sometimes it's depressing or we become impatient. But it takes a long time to create a major change in society. But you just see, there would not be Whole Food stores opening everywhere so rapidly if there wasn't a demand for healthier foods. And as that increases, we'll have a healthier country, healthier people. In the meantime, though, we have issues. There's something, for example, with labeling. You have something called sodium nitrate, which many countries have banned because it causes cancer. Bovine growth hormone. The United States just says there's nothing wrong with it, even though so many countries say that it's going to mess you up, mess up your children. Too many hormones in the body. A lot of companies like having MSG in their food, but people don't want to eat food that says MSG, so they call it yeast extract. And there's just all kinds of labeling. Every day, every American eats probably thousands of chemicals and artificial flavorings without knowing or being aware of it because the government doesn't require that labeling on the food. Lucky Charms. The first ingredient in Lucky Charms is whole grain oats. Come on. It's legal to say that that is a whole grain oat. That's not a whole grain oat. Well, it's a whole grain oat that's been ground down. The second ingredient is sugar. The third ingredient is, I don't have it here, it's marshmallow. But within the marshmallow is 12 ingredients, including food colorings and chemicals and things you couldn't pronounce. And anyone with a conscience would understand that just like it's illegal to have children have cigarettes or alcohol, that it should be illegal to market chemicals and garbage to children. They're just like, mommy, 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 I gotta get this. And I would love to see the day when there is a label, there's a label on alcohol. It says pregnant women shouldn't have alcohol. There's a label on cigarettes that says it's going to kill you. And, can you imagine the back of breakfast cereals? It says, this food contains high levels of sugar, which will raise your own blood sugar level, causing diabetes, destroying relationships by severe mood swings, and will make you gain weight in all the places you don't want to gain weight. We want to be able to find a way to, no one wants to be sick. And we want to find a way to have the exhaustion of American people with food and diet translate into the politics. Because right now it's not on the political spectrum at all. But it will be, it must be, and I think that the time will come, not as a hope, but I'm just studying this field, I think the time will come where this kind of thing will happen. 30 years ago, no one imagined there would be labeling on cigarettes. And so it's just a matter of patience and a matter of you chipping in your energy towards making this happen. And then, who knows, 20, 30 years from now, you'll look back at this time in your life and be knowing that you were part of making such a big change happen that you never would have imagined could have occurred. 9 out of 10 schools sell junk in the schools. In a recent study that was involving, it was just a national study. They took 17 schools and they took the junk out of the vending machines. Because the whole thing is, well, we have to sell this because this is how we make money to support the school. And they put in the healthy food into the vending machines, and the majority of the schools found that their revenues from vending machines increased by putting in apples and oranges and healthy drinks and healthy snacks. So that argument soon will be ending in favor of healthier foods in the schools. Yeah. Another interesting thing I found is reading about, because Cuba is so isolated at their infant mortality rate, their statistics are so much better than in the United States. The other thing is that most people don't know is that Cuba, they live on organic food because they can't afford these petrochemicals and they have a embargo, and so they have become an experiment on how to have a whole country living on organic vegetables. And it's interesting to see a process like that occur. How a poor country can have healthy food and the richest country in the world can have such garbage. So I mention all this to you ongoingly because you are an important part of this. It makes so much sense. Any doctor who goes holistic will have a thriving, busy practice because the average American understands today very strong link between what you eat and obesity, between what you eat and disease, and they're just sick and tired and fed up with being put on drugs and taking operations and being bought into the system of profit for the corporations. So again, whatever you do, the ripple effect that you create, whether it's just with your friends and family, the schools around you, the church, the synagogue, your counseling, your classes are a very important part of this. And you'll feel great in the future when things change, knowing that you played an important part in making this happen.